Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have some kind of more serious topics to go and cover. Usually I do like to make these videos a little more on the laid back side or give you restock news or Sony news or whatever, like more of a casual approach. But this is actually some kind of bad stuff, and we're actually seeing a lot of PlayStation 5 developers, especially the developers for the God of War, brand new God of War Ragnarok game, get under some really big fire in some really kind of bad comments. And of course, this kind of spurs up a lot of just controversy, comments everywhere. And it's kind of bad. Like some of the comments we've actually been seeing people go and do is kind of bad. Now, I do want to go and do a quick notion before we actually dive in the full-on video. There's always trolls everywhere. I understand that. I'm not one of those people who think like just because one person said something fully bad, I blame the entire PlayStation 5 or Sony fan base. But seeing some of this stuff, especially right after an announcement, is always not kind of good. So, not good. It kind of breaks my heart that we actually haven't even had to see this stuff or talk about this, or the fact that people have to defend people in the first place. So, we're going to talk about this one. If always, just try to keep it civil and stuff like that. And of course, don't harass devs, you know, if delays happen or anything like that. But I think a lot of you guys are usually pretty nice, and I don't think you guys would ever actually do that. But, oh yeah, like I said, we have some kind of bad news when it comes to PS5 devs and it comes to delays, and just kind of doesn't bode well for a lot of people. Of course, if any of you guys are brand new, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We also are giving out a PS5 2 as well. If you guys would like to go be subscribed for that, Amazon links down below for the PS5 controller pre-orders, the brand new consoles as well. If you guys want to check for warehouse consoles or whatever, Twitter and Twitch stream if you guys want to follow, and of course the Weeble. Sign up for Weeble, deposit $100. You guys go get free stock and free money. Coinbase, you guys go buy $100 worth of any cryptocurrency. Is go and get free Bitcoin, and like the video or dislike the video if you guys would like to. So, as I mentioned, if you guys did not know, I made a video on the channel a little bit ago. God of War Ragnarok actually has been delayed. We have not had an official timescale as of yet, but it was unfortunately delayed. We talked about that maybe around 2 or 3 days ago or so, which makes sense. I'm kind of in the boat of if the game's gonna be broken, buggy, glitchy, or just not fully finished, I'd rather them wait for them to go and have the game fully fleshed out, make it go gold, and then release the game when it's proper, so we don't have another Cyberpunk conundrum. And of course, as well, there was also additional heat besides just the actual game itself being delayed on the fact that the game was going to be included on the PS4. We've been seeing a lot of stuff floating around on that, and I actually might even make a video on that separately because it's like a almost completely different drama, but it all kind of ties back to this. So that actually upset quite a few different gamers when it came to the God of War release and all of this, because a lot of people are thinking, why do I get a PS5 if it's on PS4? Why are you guys even being paid money to go develop games if you can't even release them in time? That's just what people are thinking. So we actually had some really, really bad statements from industry and really big heads on industry, and just not good. I'm going to show you guys this, though I do want to give you guys a quick warning if you guys are kids, a little bit more on the not good language, just saying. So we actually had this statement on over here from people flooding into DMs and emails as an example, and this is bad. Like, these are personal and bad. Now, this is, like I said, people troll online and all that type of stuff. I don't think it's okay. I don't think it's right. So I'm not like, too hardcore SJW on it, but I think it is unacceptable and it's pretty rough. So basically the statements were saying, like in the DMs, LMAO, you got hired and then God of War is delayed for the first time ever. Too busy dreaming about getting gang by all of your simp twin subs to actually do work. Hope it happens and someone streams it and you get fired because they all know you're a useless, and the game comes out 2021 and PS5 only. So as I mentioned, we've been seeing a lot of people getting so upset about this, and I think that's just inappropriate. Like, we are in a pandemic. I know, like, I mean, I would generally like to have games come out at a time, but I won't say again, I'd rather have a game that works. And I mean, people have to take breaks. Sometimes people get burnt out. I understand it. I think like devs are actually underappreciated a lot of the times, especially in the gaming industry. So of course that was to Alana Pierce, which actually had the response saying, aside from the ones I get for being hired in the first place, I think this is my first game dev related abuse message, I've been finally initiated, look at me go. So at least she is taking it kind of in stride, but apparently there's been a lot more comments floating around. And with that, that also goes over to Corey Barlog, who is actually even more upset on this because he was apparently the one who said to call off and delay the God of War. It was actually not Sony itself, which I want to talk about in a second. If you guys don't know Corey Barlog, he was actually the creative director of the Santa Monica studio, so the studio that's working on God of War. So he's basically working as of right now with God of War Ragnarok, or whatever they're going to call the PS5 God of War. And he actually had a statement on over here. Let me make sure I don't show anything too inappropriate. I'll just go read a few because I have a bad screenshot for it. But he basically stated, for real, y'all, this is some BS. You want to be mad at somebody for anything God of War related, the delay, the PS4, PS5, trolls, subtitle size, the Sigrin, whatever, be angry with me. I was the one that made the call. I did this. Don't bother the team. They're all very good people doing great work. So I don't want to give him some credit because he's like, hey, I'm the head honcho. I'm making the decisions. Don't blame my, my employees. They're just trying their best. I was the one that decided to go delay the game. And I have to give him some claps. Like, I do like the idea that he's taking responsibility and accountability and, of course, protecting his employees. I think that's always very, very nice to go and see in general. And, of course, he also had an additional statement stating every single human at the studio is there specifically because they are effing exceptional at what they do. We are better because of them. Heck, I am lucky anyone is willing to lend their talent and intellect to my BS. For some reason, they do, and I love them for it. And of course, as well, that sometimes even go make a lot of fans even happy with that response. So we even saw some comments over here from these screenshots basically being like, hey man, like we're not the ones that are sending really rude messages towards devs. Hey man, like we're just kind of here chilling. We supported you. We actually gave you support when it actually was announced. Yeah, you could have gone and address it, but like just don't put us all in a group of idiots. And then we even had comments even like Corey saying like, sorry, if you don't do it, then it doesn't apply to you. You have limited characters here to tell, total clarity. So it's not always possible, but it still stands about that I make the decisions over all of the games in general. People that are mad, my DMs are open. So we've been seeing a lot of dev drama when it comes to this. There is a lot more additional comments and rude comments and hate comments or whatever flown on in. And I do kind of think the internet sometimes does get a little bit touchy when it comes to this. I don't think people should be sending really rude messages or like wishing death on anyone when it comes to just game developments. I think a lot of us all can understand, even with the PS5 conundrum, things happen. It stinks. I would rather all of you guys have your consoles. I'd rather have all of you guys get your, be able to go play all these brand new AAA games that I'm excited for too. But we just have to realize that delays happen. It's probably better in the long run to have a better working game and go from there. But like I said, a lot of these people are just kind of not getting it, or they just don't care, or they're just random internet trolls, which happens. It's the online. I get it. But it does kind of think that we are seeing PlayStation 5 developers getting underneath so much heat and so much hate. So you guys can leave your thoughts and comments down below. I just think it's inappropriate. I think it's lame. I think we could all be adults here and, be able to go and appreciate games when they come on out, as long as, they're not really bad cash grabs or have a bunch of microtransactions. But I do also want to give a nice little clap to Corey himself for taking accountability and basically being like, hey, don't blame my team, blame me. And I feel like that's the sign of a good leader and good manager, so I have to give him some credit for that, especially because I am very, very excited for God of War Ragnarok whenever it does come on out. And one last little side note I want to make a mention on this for as well. It's very intriguing and also a very nice note that Sony themselves are allowing basically the developers and creative directors and stuff like that for all their studios to make these executive decisions. And I will go and say that actually gives me a lot of respect for Sony, because they're basically stating, hey, like, you're working on the game, if it's good or bad, you tell us. If we need to go and delay it, we will delay it. And for me, and for like looking as a company, that gives me a lot of respect for Sony overall, because they understand that they do not want to release out bad games that people don't like and don't appreciate, or they just may be buggy, or they would waste their time on it, or whatever, unplayable. And that, if anything, gives me a very, very nice, fresh breath of air that Sony's okay with that, and they understand that, and they don't mind it. Because we actually do see a lot of game studios like EA sometimes that just don't mind. They'll go flood their games with microtransactions, or they just want to just go release whatever they can to go make money. Though I will go and say EA has been getting better at that, but we do always see a lot of microtransactions floating around in many various games, and they're just kind of there to milk all their, people that are playing the games for as much money as they can. Business is business, I get it, but you guys could probably agree that some business practices are kind of not as good. So I do want to give a major thumbs up and props to both Corey for how he handled this, how he protected his employees. Of course, I would have liked it if God of War was, finish at time. But once again, there's a pandemic. I understand that. Like, I'm totally okay with them delaying out a game. And of course, I do like the fact that they're protecting everyone and he's taking accountability. And as I just mentioned, how Sony themselves are at 100% okay with them going and delaying out a game if they just think it's not gonna be good enough. That gives me a lot of faith in the long-term Sony brand, and I very much appreciate them for even doing that. So that's about it for the video. If you guys want to leave your thoughts down below, I'm not usually someone who covers too much of drama, but I just want to give my 2 cents in here, because why not? As well, I just appreciate you guys all so much for watching, for hanging out with me and chilling with me. You guys are all fantastic and great. We have the Amazon links down below for the PS5 controllers and consoles. You guys want to go check throughout the weekend. We also do have the Twitter and Twitch if you guys want to follow. That link tree link down below for bonus entries to the PS5 giveaway. And make sure you guys are subscribed subscribe for the PS5 giveaway. We have that Weeble. Sign up for Weeble, deposit $100, and you guys go get free stock and free money. Coinbase, you guys go buy $100 worth of any cryptocurrency. You guys go and get free Bitcoin. Those are always linked down below. I appreciate you guys all so much for watching, and definitely leave your thoughts down below so I can read them. Love you guys, and I'll see you guys all later on throughout today for some more videos.